Welcome everyone to the first training session of Mental Fitness series for pastoral spouses on Respecting You, the Love Training. The Bible text for today is John 13:34-35. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. By the grace of God, we have begun the Mental Fitness series for pastoral spouses. The unconditional grace of our loving God is the first stepping stone for us to become healthy people. By His grace, we can realize how precious we are, and by all His love, we can become a positive person. As we cover the ways of becoming a positive person, our first theme of this seminar, we practiced joy training and thankfulness training. The first key is to be joyful always. In joy training, we learned that the Bible is the happiness textbook. We are happy people, and happiness also takes practice. Happiness comes from looking at everything from the God's point of view. Happiness begins through having a positive mindset by dwelling in the grace of God. The second key to become a positive-minded pastoral spouse is to give thanks in all circumstances. Thankfulness training is one of the best ways to make our mind and body healthy and happy. And the more often we give thanks in the smallest of things, the greater blessings you will receive. Through the thankfulness training, we can experience the blessings of God in our lives. The second theme of the Mental Fitness series for pastoral spouses is to be respectful. Through years of providing counseling and education, I have witnessed the positive-minded people respect others and thereby maintain healthy relationship with them. Interestingly, I have also seen study results that coincide with what I learned through experience. Many studies have found that people with a high level of positive emotions have an easier time forming good interpersonal relations with others. Why is it that positive-minded people are more respectful toward others and establish more successful relationships with others? A. Aaron and Ian Aaron's self-expansion theory provides an answer to this question. Self-expansion refers to the level of closeness you feel in your relationship with others. So positive-minded people have a strong self-expansion power because they include others in the notion of me, thereby naturally forming a meaningful and in-depth relationship with others. Therefore, people with a higher ability for self-expansion shows no significant differences in the perspective between themselves and others. In other words, if you have a strong self-expansion power, you feel strong empathy for the things that happens to others, and thus you naturally becoming a considerate person. How can you expand your notion of me and include others in me? Kim Joo-han claims the self-expression power is based on the unconditional love one experienced in childhood. In other words, the experience of being loved, regardless the kind of person you are, enables you to accept yourself as a positive person. That positive point of view is also applied to the accepting others. thereby letting you be considerate and form good relationship with people through self-expansion power. In his novel, What Men Live By, Leo Tolstoy suggests a more compelling and fundamental explanation for this theory. All men live not by care for themselves, but by love. I remained alive when I was a man, not by care of myself, but because love was present in a passerby. I have now understood that though it seems to be men that they live by care for themselves, in truth, it is love alone by which they live. He who has love is in God, and God is in him, for God is love. Tolstoy's writing reminds us of this Bible text, and so we know and rely on the love of God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. Basically, one who can give love is the one who had received love. And we see that the source of this love can only be the unconditional love of God. If you receive love from God, you turn into a positive-minded person. If you are positive-minded, you will respect others who are just as valuable as yourself. Therefore, the first secret being respectful is love training. Ringist says that the words man, love, and life have the same root or origin. Man is a being who loves as he lives, and love is an essential source of life. We must love one another in order to keep our dignity as men. The first ingredient in order to be respectful is to love one another. Love training consists of two parts. Part one is accepting love, and part two is giving love. First, love begins from receiving. Martin Seligman says in his book Authentic Happiness that the ability to be loved is an essential ability for happiness and positive emotions. You cannot be strong by yourself. Only when you can share the warmth and love with people around you do you become a happier and healthier person. You can give love only when you receive love. The ability to receive love has a close relationship with attachment power. Psychologists C. Hagen and P.R. Shaver said that attachment is a way of establishing a close relationship with others, and it is formed during childhood. The working model that was formed between you and your mom during childhood is applied and adapted in your relationship with your sibling or closest friends, and it is also reflected during adolescence when dating, experiencing first love, and in marriage. In short, the love we receive during childhood becomes the shadow of the love we can give and receive in our later lives. Through the love we have received, we can accept ourselves just the way you are with a positive perspective, and you have no fear in your relationship with others. Therefore, you gradually expose your genuine self to people you meet. You share your deepest wishes and fears and fantasies and dreams as you get to know each other and become closer. As you spend time getting to know each other and share common interests, you grow your love for each other. You overcome inevitable pains and difficulties while creating and sharing great memories. Sadly, as I provide counseling, I often meet people who refuse to receive love. One thing these types of people have in common is that they have been hurt. They have wounded in their hearts. They doubt and fear love and refuse to show themselves to others because they are afraid they might get hurt yet again. They show the paradox of yearning for true love while at the same time they refuse to be loved. When you are able to freely receive love from others through a healthy feeling of attachment, you can love yourself and are able to share yourself with others. Then others can get to know that you are genuine and feel closer to you so that you can finally establish a loving relationship. The love of Christ is so deep and fervent that it will overflow like a flowing spring to all who accept it. We now realize the reason God has granted such a great, deep love to us. It's because of the character of love. You can give love only by receiving it. God knew very well that our parents, family, and friends wish to give us a sufficient love, but they simply can't because of the sinful nature of this world. And that's probably why he continuously spoke of love through the 66 books of the Bible. God, who is love himself, knows better than anyone in this world how great and wonderful love is. He hopes more than anyone for us to share that love amongst ourselves. That's why he wanted to be the model for us. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. The power that Jesus demonstrated for us on this earth was to help and benefit others. Through that power, he showed us his love for us. We should really work hard to follow his example by learning and practicing to give abundant love to others. To succeed in this effort, we must first learn, feel, and give thanks to God for his great love. Let's practice. Let's share memories of God's love that we have experienced in our lives. The second step of love training is training to give love. In his book, The Art of Loving, Eric Fromm says, it is the ability to love that you should learn and nurture. I once read an article by a journalist named Jensen Lacey from a book called Chicken Soup for the Romantic Soul. She had interviewed a man when she was a freelance journalist. He had had a wife who loved roses. When she passed away, he fell into utter despair and sorrow. His love for her wouldn't subside over time. So, in the loving memory of his wife, he began to plant roses on the side of the trail in front of his church. He continued to plant roses year after year. A few decades later, the entire areas around the church was filled with colorful roses. The roses' fragrance and gorgeous roses captivated everyone who passed by. It became a very special romantic place for anyone who wished to confess their love to someone. What Jensen Lacey wrote after the interview was quite inspiring. I sat with him there with a companionable silence among the scent of the myriad of rose blossoms. What was it that kept his love going inside him? It occurred to me then that some people are like prisms. Anyone with a light in them can be near that person and have their lights reflected into many different colors, like the colors of the roses around us. Prisms by themselves cannot make light. The light by itself cannot divide it into the love colors of the rainbow. James, Charlotte's wife, must have been like a prism, being there to magnify and refract her husband's light. He made her complete because she completed him. The expression, a person like prism, really touched me. Imagine how precious and noble that experience would be to see your loved one's colorless, transparent life pass through time and all the experiences you shared with them spread wide into the beautiful colors of the rainbow. Imagine how joyful and happy you will be when you discover another strength within you by meeting that person. The meaning of the word love has becoming tainted or corrupted over time. But genuine love that truly warms our heart is one of the most critical and essential elements of our lives today. True love that is like a prism not only grows and changes the recipient, but is also the giver of that love. I believe that love is the power that helps you improve yourself and become a better person. Here is the principle of training to give love. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. As I provided counseling to couples, I discovered a simple sign that tells me whether their relationship is good or bad. It's the way they deal with the differences between them. You are bound to see what's the different between you and your spouse and feel uncomfortable when you live with the person who has been living a different life from you. Therefore, the starting point of the loving relationship must be the respect the other person and consider that the person better than you, and to see your spouse through a positive point of view. To love is to see others through the eyes of Jesus. According to a couple counseling specialist, John Gottman, long-lasting happy couples weren't greatly influenced by appearance and personalities, jobs, income, age, dwellings, or number of children. In other words, it was not necessarily the case that nicer-looking couples are happier, richer couples enjoy a happier relationship, or couple who lives in more luxurious houses had a closer relationship. To find out what's so special about happy couples, Dr. Gottman filmed the couple's daily life routines and then microanalyzed them in 1/100th of a second. Guess what he found? Surprisingly, not a single thing about these happy couples' lives had anything that was extraordinary or special. Their lives seemed just as plain as anyone else's. After reviewing and analyzing their video clips multiple times, he finally discovered a few things these happy couples had in common. That is, they are considerate of each other even in trivial situations and showed a lot more positivity at all the time. During conversations, the happy couples let each other know that they were listened by responding, "Right," or "Aha," or nodding their head and gazing each other's eyes. They respected and paid attention to each other. On the other hand, unhappy couples showed absolutely zero interest in what their spouses had to say or exchanged words that would make them grow apart or showed signs of stirred up emotions. Happy couples had 20 times more positive interactions than negative couples. Even when arguing, positive interactions took place 5 times more than for negative couples. The same goes for your relationship with your children. Children also show increased stress index and heartbeat when they feel upset. In order for optimal condition to restored, they have to see and hear 5 times more positive word and action. Dr. Gottman said, if you want to change, like the person the way they are first. When they believe they are loved and accepted, even to their flaws, they want to change. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Good job. You are always very reliable. It will be definitely work out for you. I am so happy that you are next to me. What we say can save someone and bring them back to life. How about the way we think about others and talk to them? Let us say things that uplift others and lead them to life. We live what we sow, and what we say will be done. Love training is all about considering others before yourself, finding their strengths and encouraging them. Another part of the love training that we need to work on is to practice expressing our respect for others. We need 2 elements for this, empathy and courteous listening. It means the ability to recognize and read others' thoughts, feelings, and emotions. The ability to understand what the other person is thinking or feeling through their facial expressions, tone of voice, gestures, or postures is an important factor for building and maintaining good interpersonal relationships. You can enhance your ability to empathize through active listening training and copying facial expressions training. Since a person's face is a mirror that reflects their feelings and emotions, you can empathize with them much better if you copy their facial expressions as you listen to them. If it is too difficult to mimic facial expressions, it is important at least to wear a positive and cheerful look on your face, because even a cheerful look alone can significantly increase your ability to empathize. There is one other thing we need to remember, the part of our brain that is activated and vitalized when we care about ourselves as well as others. This is controlled by the medial prefrontal cortex. If concerns for your self-growth, the ability to empathize with others and be considerate of them grows weaker. This is the reason that positive feelings leads to good interpersonal relationships. Cultivate the habit of speaking well of others. Dwell upon the good qualities on those with whom you as a society, and see as little as possible of their errors and failings. When tempted to complain of what someone has said or done, praise something in that person's life or character. Let's practice the love prism. Share who has played a role of prism in your life and what kind of positive experience and growth you have enjoyed by that person. Also, look around and think about who you can help shine brighter and more beautifully through you. The close link between interpersonal relationship ability and happiness has been proven by a research study. In June 2009, a reliable magazine, Atlantic Monthly in the U.S., highlighted the study of adult development by Harvard University. The title of the article was, "What Makes Us Happy?" The study was on 268 sophomore students who entered the school in the late 1930s. The researchers followed them for 72 years. And the question of the link between interpersonal relationship ability and happiness has finally answered. Professor George Vaillant, the leader of this project, gave an interview in March 2008 when he was asked, "What did you learn from the study of adult development?" He answered, "The fact that the most important thing in one's life is their relationship with others. The quality of interpersonal relationships that are formed to the age of 47 decides the degree of happiness in the later part of life. Relationships with your siblings especially have a big influence. Benefits the whole system. In the mind is free and happy from a conscience of right doing and a sense of satisfaction in causing happiness to others." What kind of blessings will you get to enjoy when you experience happiness through your relationship with others? It creates a cheerfulness that will react upon the whole system, causing a freer circulation of the blood and a toning up of the entire body. Your blood will circulate better, and you will become healthier, and your heart will overflow with cheerfulness. The blessing of God is a healing power, and those who are abundant in benefiting others will realize that wondrous blessing in both heart and life. When you give thanks for the love you receive and share that love with others, you will experience the virtuous cycle of giving and receiving greater love. The most important characteristic of love is that the more you give and share it, the happier it makes you. That's probably why God emphasized the love so much. "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." I'd like to close today's session by reading a short poem called "A Little Flower" by a Korean poet, Nateju. A little flower needs a close look to realize how pretty it is, a period of time to realize how lovely it is. So do you. Let's look around and count all the love we have received. And let's look for the people around us who are like that little flower. Look for those who can become happier by the love you give, and reach out to them. I pray that all of us will become happier pastoral spouse by practicing to be thankful for the love we've received and to actively share that love with others.